Apple CEO Timothy Cook is breaking his silence in a new editorial in Bloomberg Businessweek where he is announcing he is gay. He writes, "While I have never denied my sexuality, I haven't publicly acknowledged it either until now. So let me be clear. I'm proud to be gay, and I consider being gay among the greatest gifts God has given me." Joining me now from Bloomberg Businessweek, their editor, Josh Turangle. Why now, Josh?
He said that it's something he's been thinking about for a while, that it's not precipitated by any event, it's not a reaction to anything. But he's been very private, and he's always felt that his job is to guide Apple. At the same time, the way he told it to me, he walks into his office every day, and there are two photos. One is of Martin Luther King,
right.
One is of Robert F. Kennedy, and that some days those are an inspiration, and other days they're a challenge. And Martin Luther King's quote sticks with him, which is that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And over the years, it's gnawed at him that he is in a position of power and responsibility, a position to influence people. And so he's had these conflicting values of privacy and wanting to lead, and he ultimately decided that it is more important for him to step out, to represent not only within the business community, but within the world, because Apple is a global company, and to say to people, I'm gay, I'm proud. So it's an important moment.
Within this and within the moment was the moment in Alabama in recent days. How is that a catalyst to this announcement in Bloomberg Businessweek?
I don't think it's a catalyst. I think what we've seen in his time as CEO is that Apple has taken a very decisive turn toward standing up for equality, standing up for certain kinds of values, including transparency. Not always the most popular decisions within the company. So these values are consistent with the way he's been leading the company. At the same time, this is a big step. In my
not only for Apple, but for society and for American business.
Yeah, but for society, for American business. Look, there has never been in my searching a CEO who has voluntarily stepped out as a Fortune 500 CEO and said, I'm gay. And it's not just a CEO of any company, it's a CEO of the most closely watched company in the world.
Here's a quote from his essay, look for it in Bloomberg Businessweek, on activism. I don't consider myself an activist. I realize how much I've benefited from the sacrifice of others. So if hearing that the chief executive officer of Apple is gay can help someone struggling, that's all fine, but the ramifications internationally we have seen in business.
Sure, and look, I think the fact that he's the CEO of Apple makes this both easier and harder. Easier in the sense that Apple is a company that has long valued creativity, innovation, equality. It's been part of their corporate values. And he told me that he spoke to the board, and the board gave him complete and utter support, full support. At the same time, Apple does business in a lot of places. It could be slightly complicated, but I think that, one thing about leading Apple is that desire for their products tends to trump prejudice. But the point of all this is, I think, that it is news today. It is big news. But his hope, and I think all of our hope, is that at some point it doesn't become news at all. But in order, we're at a really interesting moment where, we've got marriage equality legalized in a majority of states. We also have states that can evict you for being gay, that can discriminate you against you in the workplace
to his
for being
comments
gay.
in Alabama.
Yeah, and so I think each step, each person who comes out and drives our progress forward makes those things less likely and less relevant.
Within this, I was struck by the brevity of the article. It is sharp and it is pointed. Was there a desire on the part of Mr. Cook to write a longer essay?
No, he was very clear on what he wanted, and the backstory on it is pretty simple as well. He called and asked if I could come out, and we had a conversation. And he had something written, and it was crisp and clear, and frankly, I hope he's available for more assignments going forward. He was very easy to work with on this, but he knew what he wanted to say, and at a certain point, there's not that much more that's necessary.
Your Sam Grobart did that fabulous article, I'm going to say 2 years ago, on the new Apple. How does this fit in, this announcement today, how does it fit in to the new group leading Apple?
I actually don't think it's going to be...
It's removed, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be very big news within Apple. As he says in the piece, plenty of people at Apple know that he's gay. It's never been a big deal. It's never that no one's ever treated him, or he's never detected being treated any differently. So I think within Apple there are going to be a lot of people who are proud of him, who are happy for him. and who are, by about 9:05 going to get back to
Right.
the work that they have to do.
Another quote from this essay by Tim Cook from Bloomberg Businessweek. I've made Apple my life's work. I continue to spend virtually all of my waking time focused on being the best CEO that I can be. Part of social progress is understanding that a person is not defined only by one's sexuality, race, or gender. I'm an engineer and uncle, a nature lover, a fitness nut, a son of the South, a sports fanatic, and many other things. I hope that people will respect my desire to focus on the things I'm best suited for and the work that brings me joy. What will be the ramifications of this essay, particularly within the political dialogue, as we go to the elections?
My guess is that there'll be a lot of congratulatory phone calls headed to Cupertino today, that a lot of people realize this is leadership. It really is. I mean, we've had a bunch
Well,
of...
I think of John Brown at British Petroleum, what he went through for decades.
Yeah, he went through for decades, but ultimately he was sort of forced out of the closet, and nobody wants to be in that position. I think that we're at a place where society is genuinely leaning toward equality. And so it's a door that is already opening and can be pushed on. I think politically he'll be receiving calls from Barack Obama, from the Clintons, and that there are a lot of people who will be rooting for this story to be a positive thing and to go away swiftly, because truly we should all be getting back to work.
Josh, thank you so much. Josh Tarango with Bloomberg Businessweek. An essay by Tim Cook, an exclusive for Bloomberg Businessweek. Tim Cook announcing that he is gay.